Stop playing. Hello, everybody. This is Big in the USA podcast. I am Sassy Biggins. This is my husband, Bill Bourbon. And today we'll be talking about comedy, local things you can go see, or just the state of comedy, period, and other crazy wackadoodle things that we just naturally think up ourselves. So, down here in Fort Worth, because a lot of the bigger comedy places are in Dallas. I think it's rather not very proportionate based on population of how like the more internationally and nationally well-known acts all go to the Addison Improv. Anything else in the area is either comedy for mental health or comedy for like therapeutic reasons. Because the Dallas House of
Isn't
Comedy,
that
like,
one and the same though? The therapeutic reasons and mental health, because I think
well,
all these
they've
comics have.
divided it out. Because okay, the Dallas House of Comedy was started by an actual psychiatrist as true therapy. But then if you go to another media company, it's called STFU, as in shut the fuck up. Um they do it more as a public awareness thing, like how to treat people. They're extremely woke. Usually their comedy stuff has to do with supporting a charity. But the last one I actually liked their charity. It was actually supporting like children who actually needed it versus adults who could just take care of themselves. Versus other fake. There's quite a few fake charities out there, in my opinion, but that one I actually liked. But then their version of comedy, as far as open mic goes, it was so loud in there. If you didn't yell, they couldn't hear you. And only a couple of the jokes I heard in there, they're all like guy dick jokes, and they weren't really funny. It's like, I'm glad you have one and can find it.
Was that the one we went to last Wednesday?
Yes.
All right.
But they had good food. They had
Yeah,
really
the
good Cajun
food's good.
food.
Yeah, if you get a chance to go down there and get the,
Go
I
early for
recommend.
the food. they,
Yeah, the
they
roast
do have
beef
nice
before it
seating
goes
if
off.
you're not there for the show. But it's such a small place, you kind of have to watch it even if you don't want to. So otherwise, you'll have to eat outside. But yeah, if you want to see like a mainliner, you'll have to go to the Addison Improv. It's the only one. There
Yeah,
are other
DL Hughley's going to be in this weekend.
there are other improvs across the Metroplex and in Austin and everywhere else, but that's the only well.
There is one
Every
in.
once in a while, Hyenas in Fort Worth, because there's more than one Hyenas, they will get one or two, but not nearly as often as Addison Improv. Like there's other what do they call it? Oh yeah, I guess like improv groups, which are in Arlington and stuff. Like some specialize in family friendly. There is a, I guess you call them a comedy troupe, but they do more corporate stuff where they are funny. It's called 4 Day Weekend, but like I said, they are a constantly working group, but they're not nationally well known, and they do more like public speaking and stuff. And they're only open on the weekends, so. But then, they just don't have the push like individual comedians do. I mean, you'd think living here this long, I would have heard something about them by now, but I've heard more things about Pete's Piano Bar than I have 4 Day Weekend as far as comedy goes.
Well, you do know that all these big time comedians they have agents that work on their behalf.
Yeah,
Most
you'd
comedians,
think 4 Day Weekend
if
would
you're in
too.
show business, if you're in show business at all, you're going to have. If you're going to be busy and get exposure, you need somebody speaking on your behalf, and a good agent will do that. That's what I tried to tell somebody else
Supposedly.
at the time. They're like, "Oh, I'll do it myself." Well, good luck with that. Good luck with
No,
that.
they speak to you with other comedy clubs. But I was
Yeah.
watching a podcast not that long ago with two comedians just talking about it. When one of them realized that he should have on the back, like after his stuff went through Netflix and everything, that he should have had it in his contract where he would be allowed to put it on YouTube. Because if you don't get more eyeballs or new eyeballs, you're really not helping your brand any, and you don't blow up as much.
Oh, and by the way, on the improv thing, yeah, that the Addison Improv and the Arlington Improv and the one in Houston are affiliated. They are the same. They're owned by the the
Well, the big ones don't go to Arlington; they go to Addison.
yeah. Well, that's where they have all the money, honey.
Well, Arlington's not broke. Between Six Flags, Dallas Cowboys, Rangers, ballpark. I mean, they're not hurting. I feel sorry for the people who have to pay taxes there. They're not broke. Plus the college, and trust me, I know how not broke those people are. It's practically an extension of TCU money. No, TCU money is like cattle money. It's old money. They rolling in it.
Oh, I'm looking over here at the Arlington Improv. The show's coming up for the rest of the year, and I think I only recognize like 4 names.
It's because we're local, or it's because they're national?
Because they're national. Because they're well known. Okay, we'll pick out one of my favorites here. Okay, Tommy Davidson, who used to be on In Living Color. All right. Rob Schneider. We know Rob Schneider.
You know Rob
My
Schneider.
favorites that I watched 20-something years ago on BET, Bruce, and Paul Rodriguez.
Finesse Mitchell. He's from SNL.
Yeah.
They have dining. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how much tickets are.
Probably not cheap.
He's going to be in Thursday.
Trippin' Tuesday with JJ Williams.
He's going to be in there Thursday through Sunday. And I'm going to be there working. Okay. 2 shows. Yeah, 2 shows. 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, 1 on Thursday, 1 on Sunday.
I guess they have
how much are the tickets?
Open mic. The cheapest I've ever seen is 30. The more expensive side is like 80 a pop, but they usually try to sell them in pairs of 2. So they'll say 160 for 2 tickets. Like 160 for what?
General admission, individual ticket to miss one. Okay, multiple tickets purchased or may not be together. Seating in this section will not be shared. Table for 480, table for 8, 160.
That's not bad for a table for 4.
This requires a little bit of planning. You see, it sounds like a little bit too much work on my part, but
No, if you can just get the table for 4 and know that you want to go out with friends, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Just as long as everybody.
Well, I was getting some of my friends to pony up because
that's called you don't do COD, no cash on delivery. That's called prepaid. You got your prepaid friends, and you got your cash on delivery friends. Not the same friends. I should write that joke down.
Actually, some of my friends I would not take to the comedy club, but that's another podcast.
Well, sorry for them for being so down on life.
Pardon me while I shamelessly promote Starbucks. They're not paying. I wish they would.
No, you're just addicted.
Yeah, I'm addicted. I'm one of those crazy espresso addicts. I go crazy without caffeine. I need some level of caffeine during the day. I need to cut back, but at least it's not alcohol. At least I'm not out here. Like that's another podcast. We'll save that for later. I don't want to cover drug addiction today.
That's why I have so few friends. I don't have to worry about what they are or aren't about.
Right.
It's like, if you need something, come find me, but try not to need anything. And usually the only people that ever needed stuff were like attention whores. And they could make an excuse out of nothing.
Yeah, they could, couldn't they? Okay.
And then if you get them talking 3 hours later, they finally admit the truth that they were the cause of their own problem.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker that it isn't.
Yeah. And then we all escape from it by going to comedy clubs, and then people start. That's one of the things that, because you and I both watch a lot of comedy on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and it just seems like
Dry Bar and just any.
Dry Bar is one of my favorite because they really don't go. Because sometimes I need a break from the obscene. I mean, I am a truck driver. I barely have a filter on my mouth, and sometimes I just need a break from that. And I'd wish some of these dry bar events would leave Utah, good old
Yeah,
Mormon.
we did. We found one at an improv. The safe bet thing we'll be having soon.
Is that put on by dry bar?
They said so in the advertisement. I think I mumbled it, so you may not have heard it.
Okay, because I remember you talking about it. I just
Yeah, look up Addison Improv. Is the black dude is hosting? Don't remember his name. He was
yeah.
skinny.
Oh, there it is. Safe bet comedy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It does
Uh,
exist, and there's another, like I said, improv group not associated with that
that's
Addison
who's
group
Trey
that
Mack is gonna be. Yeah, Trey Mack is
they
gonna
only
be
do family friendly.
Thursday. Go figure. Well, apparently it's not all that popular. They're selling these tickets for little and nothing. You can get a table for six for
Well, how else do you
$60.
get mom and dad to get a babysitter? They have to be cheaper than the babysitter.
Yeah.
Besides, it's usually people who drink and swear who pay more for shit.
Isn't that how it works out most of the time?
Well, if you're smart, you always get people drunk if you want them to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it not that long ago actually said he started every single show off giving people alcohol? It's like everyone got a free beer or something just for showing up. Like, no wonder they thought you were so funny.
Yep.
Or if you go full blow, if you go like Burt Kreischer level, like, yeah, he's a big comedian, blah blah blah, but he really does enjoy playing with the crowd, and he really is like a party promoter of sorts. If you really look at his college history too, he's the one that started having like beer drinking competitions at his show to increase the bar tabs so that they'd invite him back, and now he gets a percentage of the bar tab at the end of the night because he's just so good at what he does.
Look, the bar tab, they done made the bars done made their money. I know the markups on the alcohol.
Yeah, but if you can get 20 guys to put $20 a piece in to help pay for that tab, and then whatever else everyone else
Yeah.
drinks, watching the entertainment of everybody trying to outdrink everybody else, that's not a typical night
Mm-hmm.
of I'm having one or two, I'm going to go see something funny, and then I'm going to go home.
Bert Kreischer is an he's an overgrown frat boy, and it's
Yeah,
evident.
he is, and his wife loves him. And
Apparently,
again, watching was it the Steve Byrne? He had Kreischer on recently, and one of the final things they were discussing was uh, how many. Well, first off, how many comics cheat on their wives when they're on the road? Like, how often does it happen?
I don't
Or
want to have that discussion. I'm a truck driver. I get accused of it all the time, even though I'm home every day.
I don't accuse you of it.
That's not
I
you.
married you.
It's
Oh, who's
not
doing it?
you. Oh, yeah, other truck drivers. Go figure.
Because they're probably doing it. It's called projection.
I know. I mean, I've had them walk up to, off
I
topic.
think
I've
I
had them
think
walk
the
up to me and ask.
rate.
I've had them at my workplace, and I work for a major truck stop chain. I've had them walk up to me and ask me where are all the women at, and I usually point them to downtown Dallas.
Or Rosedale, or the east side of Lancaster. I know they're walking down there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, they concluded it was like 80% of comics or whatnot do get round when they're on the road. And it's strange for them not to. So
Well,
it's like, I'm never cheating on my wife.
that's just a celebrity comedy thing. It's just a celebrity worship thing in a nutshell. Golly, talk to any musician out here who's on the road. That's why, funny story. That's why my ex-wife didn't want me to have a guitar. She thought I was actually going to get women with it. Oh, yeah, y'all look at me, okay? Do I really look like the type of guy that would go out here and take my guitar, sing? Just so you know, I'm fat. I don't think I'm that attractive. So
Yeah, but self deprecation's cute and you know it.
yeah. It's also tiresome. That's another thing about the comedy. Self-deprecating humor is okay to a point, but sometimes it gets tiresome. So
As long as it's not like, let's have fun watching me smack myself around.
yeah, some days I just want to go out there and watch the old Gallagher stuff and listen, put on the
The
plastic park.
simpler, I wouldn't necessarily call it childish, but slapstick definitely has a place. And the more mental or cerebral our culture becomes, the more people forget about it.
Right.
Like, I love making jokes that have to do with finger puppets, you know? Like, did you talk to me today? Just it's that kind of like childish babiness that always works. Or just, I love that little short video of my mom. She's just like, there's no sound. It's like kind of look like she's talking to herself, but it's just goofy, silly, and people have gotten away from that. Silly doesn't have a place in the world anymore, unless you be silly about the wrong subject. Oh my lord. Or like with all this stuff going around with drag queens and whatnot, and I know they mix them a lot with comedy. And someone had said that they look kind of like clowns based on the amount of makeup. They have a point. They do have a point.
Yeah, I don't understand the drag thing.
It's supposedly a way for men to feel like who they are on the inside. A female esque figures covered in makeup and frills.
You know who I feel like on the inside?
A
Batman.
truck driver.
No, Batman. And if I dress up like Batman, I think I'll be over in the mental ward before long.
Well, unless you admit, there's not a joke based on that character who actually did go to the psych ward thinking he was Batman.
No,
Jim
it's
Carrey
based on
played him.
no, it's based on that meme that I keep seeing. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So here I am sitting in HR talking to them about why I'm dressed up as Batman, which I think is funny. I think that meme is funny. I love memes. I love memes like that. I love stuff like that, and it's hilarious. But no, if I went out here dressed like Batman, walking up and down the neighborhood, I'm pretty sure somebody called the cops on me.
They think you'd be a child pedo.
Yeah, amongst other things.
I just should walk behind you and say he forgot to take his meds again.
Yeah. Oh, I use that excuse at work too sometimes. Hey, look, I'm in a bad mood and I forgot to take my meds this morning. People just back up off of me.
One time in a class, I left the teacher a note and told him that I would be mentally absent that day. So
Yeah.
he goes and sees me. He walks in the room, sees me in class. He's like, I thought I said you weren't going to be here. He says, you don't read very well, do you? He reads again, mentally absent. Oh, okay. It's like, okay, don't ask me any questions. His migraine's killing me, but I really want perfect attendance. So don't expect me to do anything.
That's funny.
I thought so. He laughed finally once he got the joke.
I'm gonna use that next time I'm at work. I'm here. I'm just mentally absent today.
It's like when the migraine's that bad, you can't think straight.
You know,
I mean, you can still walk around, but that's like the only thing you can do.
or just walk around and say no hablo inglés and just watch as they. But
No, everyone
we
needs
live
to
in
go out.
Texas. Somebody will try to speak perfect Spanish to me, and I only know half of it. So
You, I pull out Google Translate and say again.
I'll get better.
I usually get a couple of pieces of it. I mean, the only time, okay, the last 3 times I was spoken Spanish to, they thought I was deaf. And the stuff that they spoke wasn't even like the right word, so that doesn't count.
See, that's funny in and of itself. You pretend like you're deaf as a Lyft driver, and then they try
Hey,
to
it
speak
keeps the
another
drunk
language.
people in line. It protects me from the crazy people.
It reminds me of that joke from Henry Cho about meeting his wife's family, and his dad's he's Korean, his dad's Korean, and she yelled, the mother-in-law yells at him, "Hello, Mister Cho." Well, what's she doing? His dad says, "Speaking to you in Korean."
So he's deaf and Korean.
No, he's not deaf. They just took it as deaf Yeah, you know how some people are when you
Oh yeah,
when
that was inverse. Does not speak your language must mean you are deaf.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, they can hear perfectly fine. Most of them. I just they just don't
yeah.
understand you.
No, they always get that because once
I've been down in Laredo and had to get Google Translate on the fly.
uh, it's strange how the mind always goes there. Because once I tell them I'm deaf, they always go to Spanish first, and they go to French second. If they don't go back to just screaming really loudly of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, but yes, other comedy things in Fort Worth, which I thought, well, I wish they had more of, or better ones of, or just a lot more open mics that are actually open mics versus screaming sessions in front of like 15 people.
Yep.
But we do have some good local talent that does stay here, and they don't usually travel too far, like William Lee Martin.
Oh well, I know he's been across the southeast, and I know he's
I
been on.
don't think I don't think he wants to go more north than that because I know up north they're not very kind to the southern type, especially cowboys.
Mm,
And his humor won't. I mean, his humor does cross over as far as I care, but maybe he finds that it doesn't, or he just wants to get home in time to be with the grandbabies.
right. Can't blame him there.
Well, his career took off later in life. He's
Right.
been doing it for how many years?
A long time.
I'd say at least 20, 30, yeah.
And he was completely funny to see when we went to Hyenas over there in Fort Worth.
Yeah, yeah, he's really. I mean, mostly he just did family friendly kind of stuff, and you could tell
No,
he was
he's
a class
he,
clown.
he's talked about that. I've seen some videos online where he's talked about why he went to family because he used to not be that way. So
Didn't he come to Jesus? He had his come to Jesus moment.
yeah.
I know he has a podcast too. Don't remember what it's called, but I know he's got one. Because sometimes he also
Oh,
talks
he
to.
goes live on Facebook every day too.
Oh, he does. I don't follow that. I should though. But yeah,
Yeah.
he also. I know he's done some episodes with. Was it something Mudflap McGrew? He has
Hmm.
long hair. He was a DJ in Vegas. Now I think he's like over in Louisiana or something. And
Yeah.
he's more of a local ish or regional type comic. And he's very prolific on Twitter.
Right.
It's just funny how you keep track of people so much more easily that way.
You were saying about the local comedians, that one we met over there at the Twilight Lounge in Fort Worth. I was checking things out. What was his name? Ben Garza is his name. Really
Ben
funny.
Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
I
who,
wish we could see him go up, or we didn't even get to see the headliner who's just a local teacher. The guy did you see that tall guy outside with the beard? What was he, 6'7"?
yeah, I saw him.
He was the headliner.
Yeah. The one who had the Fort Worth for Beto shirt on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Beto O'Rourke. I tell you what, man, Texas is token liberal right there.
well, he is a joke unto himself, in my
That is a
opinion.
joke. Yeah, Texas token liberal.
I thought he's more of a socialist, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, now we can't say socialist. We know he's a liberal. Okay.
Oh no, I know he's socialist, straight up. Just because it's socialist light doesn't change it any. And liberal now is synonymous with socialist.
Yeah.
Now, if you say left leaning or Democrat, yeah, that's more normal. But socialist and basically it's all the same thing. Because there is a separation between simple Democrat and we want to tell you how to breathe.
Right.
Because
Which is something else that's affected comedy here lately too.
yeah, what was I watching the other day? Something about how as soon as people start trying to tell comics what they can and can't say, all of a sudden they're all gonna be saying everything that they're not supposed to say, and it's gonna just explode.
I don't think you'll be able to keep them down. So keep, you know,
Well, it's like you're not allowed to say red hair, Red hair, motherfucker.
And I think sometimes with comedians, that's their contrarian nature coming out. So you're not gonna, you know.
And not only red hair, motherfucker, but on your mama too.
Oh,
Your mama so fat she looked like a redhead. But yeah, if uh, our neck of the woods is just, you'd think there'd be more William Lee Martin style places for comedy versus the younger woke go broke crowd.
no, and I believe in a 100-mile radius of the Metroplex, all you're going to get is whatever's in Dallas and Fort Worth. That's it.
Well, then you got Austin, and luckily Rogan is building his theater down there. Woo-woo, woo-woo.
That just reminds me to look. Is there a comedy club in Abilene?
I haven't heard of anything.
I haven't heard of anything in Abilene.
It's like saying, is there something in Weatherford? Maybe in 20 years.
No,
Maybe it's growing up that
when
way.
I do a Google search for comedy club in Abilene, you're going to love this, but Hyenas in Fort Worth pops up.
Yeah, Abilene's like an
And
hour south of there.
yeah, and then strip clubs.
Oh, you can't keep a good strip club down.
Well, I'm surprised with Abilene being home to 3 Christian colleges.
Yeah, some of the nicest guys that I ever picked up over in McKinney, I want to say. I dropped them off over at Baby Dolls while discussing about being deacons on Sundays.
That's a good Baptist for you.
I don't know if they were Baptist or not. They could have been Episcopalian.
It's a joke, and when I do the Aunt Upel voice one of these days, you'll understand what I'm talking about. See, there's an old joke, and I heard this on the John Boy and Billy show many, many moons ago about, I took one of my Baptist friends fishing. He drank all my beer, but I took 2 of them, and they didn't drink any of it.
So I guess we know who the good Baptists are.
No, Baptists don't want to. Baptists don't want to. They don't want to ruin their appearance in front of other Baptists. You know what I mean? It's all for show. That's the joke. And I've seen this lived out. So that's what makes that joke so funny. But I think also on that same show they were talking about how sex is dirty and sex is evil and sex is going to kill you and you should save it for someone that you love in marriage.
But it's so evil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think you can definitely judge where comedy or how it's surviving or not based on how many people have stopped watching SNL or how long ago they stopped watching SNL.
I don't think the problem with SNL is the comedy itself or the comedians. I think it's the writers and the subject matter that they're and these skits that they're coming out here. The more political you get, the more you turn it off. Because somebody told me once they quit watching the late night TV. It was fun to watch. Johnny Carson and Jay Leno, and then all these late night shows started getting just super political and very left leaning. And a lot of people have just said, what, screw it, I'm not going to watch you anymore.
Well, they were saying that if you don't virtue signal this one way, you will not be considered funny.
Right.
So then all the funny just went out the door. But as far as SNL specifically, they have done political stuff correctly. I mean, with Tina Fey, with when she did what was her name?
Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin.
Which was funny. That was funny.
But they have done it correct.
But even I thought Sarah Palin was a joke. So
yeah, I'm still not sure what's his name was thinking, but it's, if you listen to Jim Brewer delicately talk about his years on SNL, and then Bobby Moynihan was on Alan by Alex podcast and talked a little bit how he's still in therapy because of his years on SNL.
Yeah, there's some people on SNL that didn't even make it one season.
Well, there's that one kid, he got hired and then
I know what.
fired all because of one day.
Well, I think they have such a chokehold on the comedians, at least from everything that I've read and I've seen.
No, the guy had an old tweet on Twitter. Someone found it. He didn't even go on the show because they fired him as soon as it came up, right after they hired him.
Oh, that guy.
Shane, what's his name?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, that was part of cancel culture. But he's still doing okay after all that, so he wouldn't have been happy in that environment. Even just as an actor, just say your line, shut up, go home. He's too creative for that. Now he has was it Key and Peele? No, no, that's wrong.
Mhm.
I wish I remember. He does something on YouTube and it's usually pretty funny when he's not too leftist.
Right.
Said he can be funny. I mean, he makes it sound like he should be Republican because he's from Pennsylvania, and it's like, no, I used to live near Pennsylvania. That's not a guarantee. No one thinks you're Amish if you're from Pennsylvania. There's not a direct assimilation with that. No.
No, there's Pittsburgh, there's Philadelphia, and then there's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and those are all very strong liberal holdouts because
Even
where else would anyone get that much welfare?
even Carlisle and Harrisburg are a little bit on the liberal side.
A little more than a little bit, yeah. I mean, then when you get out into the country, just like Texas, as long as you leave the cities, you find the regular folks. Go back to the cities, all of a sudden everyone's a flaming, always left leaning something or another.
You don't have to get go too far out of DFW before you're back in Lickskillet, Alabama again. And
Yeah.
for those who want to know what Lickskillet, Alabama is, go look it up. It's a little tiny community outside of Hazel Green, unincorporated. It's exactly what you think it is.
500 people and they're all incestuous.
No, they're not incestuous, but they are country as hell. Yeah.
Like, do they
Decent
make their
people.
own? Do they make
Decent
their own
people
moonshine?
used to. They don't do that
Before it
anymore.
became so illegal, they couldn't.
They've actually grown up a little bit. And side note, a little funny thing about Huntsville, Alabama, and that part of North Alabama before NASA came in to Huntsville and turned it into a city full of cosmopolitan people and engineers and educated people.
And
There
engineers from
were
Germany.
still rural parts of Madison County, Alabama, and there was a lot of legitimate businesses that sprung up as a result of whiskey money. There's a furniture store near Huntsville Hospital, and I forget the name of it. That legend has it that's where they got their funding. That's how they got their started, and they're still there today.
Mm. What was like his name? Shane. What was it? Lock and Key? Because you've been thinking of Key and Peele, but Key and Peele is definitely not the Shane kid. But yeah, it's on YouTube. Sure, if you do a long enough search, you can find him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shane Gillis.
There we go, Gillis.
By the way, his name showed up a lot on the Improv website, by the way.
Yeah, he can tour. I mean, when they say you go get it, he sometimes does. Yeah. When he's not doing little skit things with his friends. Or I think he had some kind of contract with a production company.
Yeah.
I don't know why in filmmaking or of any kind that they would say production company like it's big and it's bad. It could be 3 dudes and a camera. Maybe a boom, like for a microphone or something.
Well, look
Maybe
at us. It's just the two of us.
Yeah. It's like, here's our huge production company. Backed up by StreamYard.
StreamYard, the #1 choice for broadcasting across platforms. Actually, do they have a slogan? I'll read it out on the air.
No, I haven't seen one. I mean, I can find for
usually
you the fake cat commercials.
If I ever wanted to just do something for people at random, I'll either pick up a brochure, magazine, advertisement, or something and just read it out loud. It's like the cigarette ads in magazines. Newport, alive with pleasure. Newport, alive with pleasure.
Versus being dead.
StreamYard, the easiest way to create professional live streams. I'm not knocking StreamYard. This is a valuable service, so.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about pulling out all the old fake commercials I had. Today's episode is brought to you by
I have 'em.
cat hair,
Uh,
the number one cause of lint roller ownership in America today.
I do have those on this computer.
Pre-recorded. Mine are all saved
Yeah,
somewhere on the back end of
I
Anchor.
separated them. I separated them all because I was using them on the Will Anderson show, and it's getting a little bit of feedback. But we got too many people on that show with really hard broomsticks up their butts, and they can't. They all they can do is just sit vertically up straight and look down their noses at
They
everybody else.
didn't think they were funny.
Look, there's some people out there. Oh yeah, most people thought they were funny and cute. There was a few of them that didn't, but then again, they don't have a sense of humor. So I can actually, I don't know, see if I can't find them. What did I do with them? I think I may have put them over on OneDrive. I know I moved a bunch of stuff off of here since I'm getting another computer in here. Anyway, search for that real quick. And I got sound effects over here for any type of comedic effect. I'm not going to bring it up.
Do drum roll like bum bum. Like really cheesy stuff.
I thought I did. Hold on, let me look. Let's see what I got. I got a bunch of stuff here. Oh, I'm so sorry the comedy offended you. Okay. You might want to go get that.
Not likely, but okay.
No, I just got some basic stuff over here. Let's see. Record scratch, rocket launch, line roar. Bunch of stuff I downloaded over here. New per cell spot. I do have your commercials on the soundboard. Dadgum. Hold on. Here we go. This is the cat hair commercial right here. All right.
Today's show has been brought to you by cat hair, the leading cause of extra, unnecessary, dirty laundry that was clean until the furball took a nap on top of the clean clothes. Cat hair is the leading cause of lint roller ownership in America today. Scientists have almost proven that cat hair is the number one piece of crap that doesn't come out of your clothes in the dryer. So when you think of cat hair, please consider getting a hairless breed. Did you hear that thing near the end? I was sure it was recording straight.
Yeah. Well, you recorded it in here, so we can do better if you ever want to just re-record those.
I'll just read it. I wrote them all out, or if I just pull up the Word doc.
Here's the one I didn't use. It was Whoopee Cushion.
Today's sponsor is the Whoopee Cushion, saving people from boredom for over 30 years. For any gathering, office party, or birthday, consider having some fun with the family by purchasing a whoopee cushion. There's no need to have a boring gathering ever again. This product is a fart above the rest. It only uses recycled air, and it's a rubber like no other for making whoopee. It's a gift that keeps on giving to every generation of jokers. Make sure that you stock up today and make your next gathering the one that no one forgets.
Now, the reason I didn't use that commercial on the Will Anderson show was because of the double entendre in there. Somebody might actually take offense to it. And I wasn't going to take that chance in the early stages of production at that point. I mean, we talk about what we
might actually use it to make whoopee.
Okay, well, if you know what making whoopee means, if anybody who's ever watched the Newlywed Game with Bob Eubanks, that's the question that comes up. How often do you make whoopee or something? And that's code for how often are you doing the dirty, okay, or something. Or one of the strangest places you made whoopee at. Happened a lot. It really did.
But now I kind of like how Adam Carolla does the commercials for his stuff. He like says it so fast just to get it out of the way, and it's always fresh every time.
Yeah.
They just kind of go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Or make up some new ones. Today's inspiration was brought to you by Finger. Where to shove it?
No, I got a lot of classic sound effects and stuff over here. Yeah, so yeah, it's on the sound effects board. I forgot I had uploaded all your commercials over here. I totally forgot about it. All right, we'll save those for later then. Next
We
time we
don't
come on.
actually have any sponsors, so if anyone's willing, able, and wants to support us, other than going through was it looks like coffee, but it's like Ko-fi, to buy us a cup of coffee, the link will probably be somewhere in description below eventually.
Yeah.
Uh, to directly donate or whatever, it's just us. Buy us a cup of coffee. Support
Or
his
not.
Starbucks
If
addiction.
you accept donations. I'm sure you're going to put a PayPal link in the description or something. All right.
It's Ko-fi. It's in case PayPal. You know how everyone's getting canceled everywhere?
Yeah, I know PayPal's leading the charge on that.
So Ko-fi, I don't think is related to PayPal. And then the other one I would trust would be Stripe. And then I finally got accepted today on OnlyFans, where I just want to do little blurbs and stuff. And yes, my clothes will stay on. But that one finally got put through. And that also is they allow for income donation and whatnot as well. As I
Right.
was thinking about earlier, it's like it looks like I'm a money hungry whore essentially, but I do all these things in case like anything gets canceled because you never know what'll piss somebody off.
Well, it's a dadgum joke with the OnlyFans, you know. Oh, I'm a woman who can't get a job. Let me take my clothes off and show off my big titties. Okay, whatever. Sure thing, go for it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
supposedly they want to expand to be just a platform where you can basically get paid to do whatever it is that you do, good, bad, or otherwise. Which I'm for that. Or the other one we're also on locals. But locals, they work through Stripe to where even if you get booted off of anything, you still get to keep your income stream because it's separate. So you can still make content, just not on that site, and people will still pay for what they're
Well,
getting.
let's see. Comedians descend upon OnlyFans. Creator story.
I still can't find Chelsea Lynn on there, so I gotta wonder if she either one isn't on there or two, she got kicked off. And she does like to use her big old titties to get attention. Though she claims to do all her stuff fully clothed. And she's just comedy.
Hold on. I have found it.
The article or her on OnlyFans?
Let me send it to you in chat.
Because I know there was an article about saying that comedy was going for OnlyFans. Like I said, we're also on locals. We don't have enough followers yet on YouTube to get any kind of ad revenue. I don't know how many people you have to have because I know that you can give direct donations through YouTube if you go live, but I don't know if you have to have a certain number of people or how that works, or we're just here to have fun, whichever. Just rigging the game so if anything gets canceled, we're still not out of the game completely.
Are we
Versus
really doing this for the money? Mm,
we're
no,
not being paid. It's their day off.
not.
What money?
Well, this is
I
my
think
day
I
off.
have one subscriber on locals, and that's it.
One.
God bless her.
Oh, somebody actually likes you, honey.
Yes. Finally, cute in somebody's eyes. Oh, at Clapper too. Clapper's also another place where you can get subscriptions and pay for people for content.
hmm
And they also have it where you can have your own private shop set up. I really gotta wonder how many of the accounts though on Clapper are real. Every time I get a follower, I check them. No content. Not even a "Hey, how you doing" thing.
Yeah.
It's like, how many pictures did they steal to make up all these accounts?
Sometimes I wonder. So I'm seeing them on TikTok too. I just get, I've been flooded with follow requests from various women who sit there and if you look at their bio, they say, "I'm looking and I'm single." Yeah, bye. I know. Same thing. We saw this on Instagram. We saw this on Facebook. We see this on Twitter. No, go away. You invading TikTok too? Go away.
Rated R comedy. Okay. Cool. How come when you type it and you find it, and then I probably spelled her name wrong.
Yeah, I had to go. I had to remember.
But now I even typed in trailer trash Tammy, which you can't spell wrong because it's phonetic.
Yeah. But she only charges $18 a month here, according to my $18 a month.
Mine's only $5.99.
Hold on, let me wipe that smudge off the screen. Let me make sure it's. I gotta dust my
No, I
equipment.
just set it up today. So
Okay. Yeah, trailer trash Tammy. I know you've seen her. It's hilarious.
well, she's actually okay. She was originally from Oklahoma, and when she moved to Texas for a while, she was over by Lower Greenville. Got a
Yeah.
job at a food store. Had a lot of stuff posted on Instagram. Her followers said, "Hey, go into comedy." She did some stand-up stuff, and then she was able to make. Well, then they moved to California, where she did more of the stand-up, where there's probably a lot more opportunity for it because they just Californians love having open mics. And now she's moved to Nashville, and she goes on tour with Burt Kreischer and everybody else.
Here you go. Here's her website. I'll send that to you on the. Send that to you
Oh, I know her website. Eat My Trash. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that. At least I was able to finally figure out that she was the original person. Like through like her friends and sisters, she saw someone drawing some boobs or whatever, and then expanded the idea and made it into that T-shirt that has all the different shaped boobs on it. That's her product. I didn't know. I've seen the shirt. I just didn't know it was hers. And that just kind of openness to people's
Good
minds.
Lord, she's got her own. We should sell. Well, okay, it'd be nice if we could sell stuff like that, but she's got her own t-shirt, tank tops, hoodies, koozies, swimsuits, pop sockets, phone cases, socks, posters.
Yeah. If you go to the bottom, this is if you want to know who's really handling all that stuff. Go to the bottom. It's a service.
Hold
They
on.
handle all that. Like I've sent you links before with other companies here in Fort Worth that as long as you have a whatchamacallit based website. What's that number one? Shopify. If you have a Shopify based website, they handle all your production and shipping.
Okay.
So if you go to the bottom of her page, you will find the company that's doing it for her. That's how smart people do it. Which goes back to if anyone wants to draw me.
I went down to the bottom of the page. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't say anything about what who does it, but I believe
No,
you.
there should be a little signa down there. They always watermark their stuff.
Okay, just forgive me for not being able to see it right now. I'm not able to see it.
I'll look it up.
Dream Tammy iPhone case. All right. Jesus Christ.
Supposedly, also women usually buy her semi-nude calendar every year because it's for their husband, so they have like a reasonable expectation of women.
Okay, the whole trailer.
It's right here, powered by Sway.
Sway, where?
Yeah, it says on the very, very bottom, under subscribe, powered by Sway.
Oh, that. I thought that was a website they were doing.
It kind of is. It's the website for the people who run her website.
Okay, swayim.com, complete e-commerce management. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, and then we have was it Inked? No, they look like a t-shirt company, but they're a full service production. Like they do pens, mugs, everything.
Zazzle.
Printed Threads is what it's called.
Printed Threads.
Yeah,
That's a Fort Worth company, right?
yeah, it's one I've sent you links to before. Yeah, and they have graphic artists on hand, and Or even if you just want to do the t-shirt, like iron-on t-shirt stuff and stickers, is another company I know, and they're reasonably priced. That's how I made the big crafter stickers, which were very nice circular bumper stickers. If anyone's interested, called DFW stickers. They're not. They're a good company. They're LGBT friendly. They just do really good work.
Hold on while I send this website to Tim. Trailer trash. Eatmytrash.com.
Oh, she's allowed to talk about poor folk, but I can't. Okay.
I'm a little sensitive to it because I lived it.
Well, so does she.
Well, I mean, I lived
the Amish version.
I'm proud to be a blue collar middle class person. I'm not sitting here.
So am I.
I am not sitting here, living in the trailer park like I used to.
We never lived in the trailer park. We just lived in the barn.
I used to live in the trailer park, not us. I used to. I know what it's like. I've seen it up close and in person.
It's cleaner than the barn, where I spent 90%.
No, that's where Dad was raised. My grandma put him out in the barn because he wouldn't wash his feet.
Don't blame her none. It's warm enough. Why not? That's what. Yeah, my grandma would always tell stories how her cousins would convince her that if she wanted big feet, like having big feet would be a great idea, that she should walk barefoot through the chicken coop yard on a Sunday morning right before church. So yes, she got her hide tanned.
We'll see if Tim responds to that one.
Talk about another good old boy. I swear he is the human embodiment of Boomhauer.
He'll be on one of these days.
Yeah, Boomhauer from King of the Hill. You're talking like this. You understand what he's saying? That's Tim.
Yeah, but Tim don't talk that fast.
We might as well. You just can't say the thing I'm saying, huh?
That's because you're a Yankee girl from New Hampshire and you don't speak Alabama Southern.
I speak Southern just fine. Thank you very much. Speak it articulated enough to know what I said versus.
No, I'm sorry, I don't understand you. You just go right there.
Hey, I'm the queen of pretend I don't speak English.
Can you explain to me concept of barbecue ribs?
You cook long time, real slow, cover in sweet sauce.
Yeah.
Glad Chappelle didn't get canceled.
You can't keep anybody like Dave Chappelle down. He went after everybody on his comedy specials, and if you haven't watched them, you should.
He's just a real person. You can't take away someone's humanity just because. Basically, as far as all the canceling stuff goes, it just looks like kids throwing a hissy fit.
That's what it is. Kids throwing a hissy fit.
Except for 30 years old.
Feelings. You know what? There's a good. The world doesn't owe you jack shit, and you're going to get your feelings hurt.
Maybe you figure it out. It's going to be like a 2x4 in the front of your head.
Everybody wants to live in peace and harmony, but the truth is, you're going to have conflict in your life, and you need to learn how to deal with it. And you're going to have to deal with the people who don't agree with you, and you're going to have to deal with the people who say things that you don't like.
You're going to have to get along with people who sing Kumbaya differently than you.
And if you don't like here's something that Jim Florentine, of course, he doesn't give a shit about nothing, but
it's the way to go.
When he was doing Crank Anchors in the early days, the first round of Crank Anchors, and he was, doing special ed, yay, I got mail, which is one of my favorite bits from that show. His promotion team or his manager or somebody, I'm not sure. I don't remember the entire story exactly. He can tell you better than I can, but they had him with the special ed puppet. So women were bringing kids to his comedy shows thinking it was going to be a puppet show, much like, you know, what's his face with
Dunham?
yeah, Jeff Dunham. Yeah. And they were completely and totally offended by the comedy. And it's like,
Just because you have a okay.
yeah,
This is
just
kind of
because
like
no, you see, and people don't read all the way through these things, then they should. And that's what happens when you half-ass think these things through and you go to a place and then you're freaking offended by it.
yeah, I had this friend of mine. He was a little bit better than me when it came to doing the voice of Elmo. And Elmo would tell you to F off. Among many, many other really funny things.
That's awful close, honey.
I know, but he was even better. I'm more like Gingy. You know, from Shrek? I'm more like Gingy, because it's more like down here. But Elmo is a little bit different in the cadence. But yeah, I loved Elmo. And if you weren't ready for it, people were offended by Elmo.
People offended by
Via Jerry Toddy.
totally offended by Elmo, right?
Well, it's kind of like Family Guy. You think it's, about families and a guy, and not quite. Or American Dad.
Family Guy, American. Well, those shows are just caricatures of caricatures, if you ask me, and it's funny because it's ridiculous, and they acknowledge it's ridiculous. And
Yeah,
some
it's a
people just
farce.
get it. Well, it's a cartoon. What if kids see this? This was not designed for kids.
Why do you think it's on after 9 o'clock? If it ever was. I
And
mean,
yeah, if some of y'all are worried about your kids seeing stuff they shouldn't be, check your own house. Okay.
we weren't even allowed to watch The Simpsons to our. All the jokes regarding them, I have no clue.
Like the Simpsons predicting the future.
Those I kind of like. If they had the full clip, I'd see it. Like I knew when the voice of Bart died because it was a woman. Or I always liked the lady who did the voice of Lisa because she played the secretary on Dharma and Greg. And I've always liked, was it Frank Azeri?
Frank Azaria.
Azaria, yeah. I didn't know he could do so many voices because he was also the boy toy love interest in
I
that
got to correct
movie.
you on something. The voice of Bart Simpson is Nancy Cartwright, and she's still alive.
Then who the heck died? I thought it was a woman. Unless that's the replacement. Unless it was during that phase where all those people claimed celebrities were dying and they weren't dead. Because since I didn't watch The Simpsons, I probably didn't follow up on whether or not it was true.
Real World Death Simpson Wiki on fandom. James Lipton, 93. But he voiced himself. He voiced himself on an episode. Christopher Collins. He voiced. Collins voiced as Mr. Burns in a few episodes. Doris Grau as Lunch Lady Doris. Phil Hartman, of course. Marsha Wallace. And she Krabappel, Jan Hooks, who she was, who was she? Well, Jan Hooks from Saturday Night Live and Designing Women in later seasons. Let me see, Sam Simon, Steve is Don Payne, Jamie O'Brien. Okay. Animators. Oh, yeah, there was the animators, and as far as voices are concerned, hold on. Jan Hooks, yeah. Marsha Wallace, Phil Hartman, Lunch Lady Doris. Okay. Yeah. I had to go look that up. Sorry. Leonard
So I
Nimoy.
guess she's still alive.
Leonard
then,
Nimoy.
right?
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy had let's see, he was in there somewhere. They did
What was it, the Ben Stiller movie where he was a risk analyst? I can't remember. Deborah Messing was his fiance who cheated on him. That movie. But yeah, I didn't know Frank was Aziza Aziri
Frank Azaria.
Azaria. He's one heck of a good-looking guy, so it confused me why he didn't have a better career in regular acting unless he's got this real thing for only doing voiceover stuff and not being on big screen, having a normal life. and limiting the amount of celebrity. But to me, on The Simpsons was kind of a big deal, like better than making a movie, I guess you could say. Because he played like 3 or 4 characters on there until they had
Along
him stop.
Came Polly. That's the name of the movie that you're thinking
There
about.
we go.
Yeah. And he was a risk-adverse actuary for a large life insurance company, celebrating his honeymoon with a new life reclaimer, but catches her having sex with Claude, a French scuba instructor.
So, of course, he had to have the French accent to be Claude.
Yeah. So there. Movie recommendation, Along Came Polly. I love researching this stuff live as we're doing it because I'm actually pretty good at it.
He's an infomaniac. He can't stand not knowing.
I've been this way most of my life.
Yep.
Now I'm not doing anything about it now. I'm gonna know. That's why I love smartphones. That's why I love computers. That's why I love researching these things, and I can research these things in depth. I can read really fast, and I can get the information very quickly, and that's why people come to me for the answers. I've always been in that position. Now, some days I don't, some days my brain needs to rest. As I get older, my brain needs to rest more. That's the way I was feeling yesterday. I just couldn't think of,
Or just slow it down.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in go mode for so many years. I don't know what to say about it.
But anything else about comedy that's relevant?
I watch as much as I can on YouTube, and if I want anybody who's got any questions about any comedians whatsoever, I can guarantee you can find your answers online. You want to see their material, you want to promotion is the name of the game when these guys are getting their names out there. So I promise you, there's going to be bits and stuff that you can find and see and whatnot. And if you get on their social medias and check stuff out, William Lee Martin, like we mentioned, has a Facebook page, goes live quite often, has quite a few of his old videos and new videos up right now. You can always go there first before you ever go out and burn any money.
He does refresh his material versus having. I do agree with the current comedians where there's the guys who have their 15 minutes of saved material and that's what they live off of. No, he does refresh it.
See, I'm not going to accept the fact that anybody's clueless about a comedian. As long as if you don't know, if you can't find out, then that's on you with the availability of information and technology available to us. I will find my favorite comedians and I will go see them first because I've seen their stuff online first, and that's the way I like to do things. So,
at least to see their range and whatnot,
right?
Or find out whether or not. Don't mean to harp on this too much, but there's a certain woke things I'm not paying money for. It's
right.
Like I'm not here for indoctrination. I'm here for relaxation.
But the people who do pay them are looking for that. So just so you know, there is a business.
If you truly want indoctrination, go to therapy. Keep it between you and your doctor.
They have medicines for schizophrenia. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's only bad if you talk back to the voices that aren't there.
No, it's funny you should mention that because somebody was the friend I refer to as Crazy Horse said something on his Facebook page about talking to voices in his head when he's sober, and I'm like, that's schizophrenia, and you need to have that looked at. So I just.
What do you mean? It's not daydreaming?
He's a recovering drug addict. I promise you. He's some serious stuff.
We just call it daydreaming when we talk to things that aren't there that don't answer back. And sometimes they do.
I talk to myself because I need expert advice. So.
Yeah, I know that old joke.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay, thank you all for liking, subscribing, following along. Please share with anyone you know. Don't don't even care if you use this as a sleep aid to help you go to sleep at night. Listening to us droll on and on and on. But hey, if it works, use it, right?
Right.
So thank y'all for playing along with Big in the USA.
And on behalf of Big in the USA at the studios of Command Central in Fort Worth, Texas, so long. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.